Hey guys, this is lesson 2 of Unit 6 Part 3. Okay, so in this packet, we're on page 2. So let's get started. So the first thing that I want to talk about is we're going to start solving inequalities. So it's really important that you remember back to equations. When we had a solution to an equation, it would be like x is equal to 1. Okay, so I told you that there was one solution. Okay, so in the past, equations had one solution. Okay, so any equation that I gave you guys for Math 7, they had one solution. Now with inequalities, this is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so if you look at the first inequality, so this, remember, just as a reminder, so this is greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, I'm just going to abbreviate, and less than or equal to. Okay, so just as a reminder for that, please make sure you guys are memorizing these. Okay, it's not going to make any sense if you don't do that. So now the first thing that we're going to talk about is the number line. So if you think of an inequality, x is greater than 1. Well, that means that whatever x is, it's greater than 1. Well, let's think about the number line. How many numbers are bigger than 1? An infinite amount, right? So 2 is bigger than 1, 3, 4, 5. But also, what about 1.1 or 1.00000000001, right? There's an infinite amount of numbers, not only that are bigger than 1, but that are just bigger than, like, between 1 and 2. So it's very important that you understand that when you guys have a solution to an inequality, this represents a large group of solutions, an infinite usually amount of solutions. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to answer this question. But one thing I wanted to show you guys is notice that this has an open circle right here. Okay, this open circle means that it cannot be 1. It can be 1.000001. It cannot be the number 1. So as soon as you make it the number 1, it doesn't, it makes it false. It makes inequality false. So that is not going to be it. So if you have greater than or less than, that's going to be an open circle. Okay? So that's going to be open. And if you have greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, that's going to be a closed circle. Okay? So we'll have open and closed. And basically that means included or not included. So I'll make kind of a little table for you guys. And again, we're just getting started with this, so bear with me. Okay. All right. So if we look, we use the number line, okay? So select all the values that make the inequality true. Well, for this one, so is 3 greater than 1? That's what you would ask yourself. Yes, it absolutely is. Okay. Is -3 greater than 1? Well, -3 would be over here, so is it greater? No, so that one doesn't work. Is 1 greater than 1? No, they're equal to each other, so it can't also be greater than. Okay. Is 700 greater than 1? Yes, it is. And then we have our example that I just pointed out, 1.05. So this is 1 and 500ths. Absolutely. Any additional value to 1 is going to be greater. So that one would be included. So you could take a second and name 2 more values. And again, if they are on the number line higher or greater than or to the right of 1, then you got it. Okay. So x could be greater than 5. X could be greater than 5,000. So there's an infinite amount of numbers that you guys could put here. You could put like mixed fractions. You could literally put everything. Okay. All right, so let's do an example right here. So a sign next to a roller coaster at an amusement park says you must be, okay, you must be at least, okay, I'm going to actually box at least, okay, 60 inches tall to ride. Okay, so Noah is happy to know he is tall enough to ride the ride. So Noah is X inches tall. Which of the following can be true? X is greater than 60, X is equal to 60, or X is less than 60. Now I'm saying these out loud too because this is a video, but this is where it's going to get important that you guys know which is which. Okay, so this is going to be greater, less. Okay, again, as you guys watch this, please make sure you're paying attention to that. Okay, so which of the following? So it says you must be at least. Now let's think of what at least means. So we have to ask ourselves, can he be 60 inches? Yeah, it says at least, okay? Well, can he be more than 60 inches? Absolutely. Can he be less than? No. Okay, so this is the only one that won't work, okay? So now you could say both of these, but I've just shown you that there's an actual symbol that represents putting both of these together. So we're going to say, so X is greater than 60, or X is equal to 60. These could each represent, okay? And the reason for this is because at least means greater than or equal to, okay? Greater than or equal to. So it's really important that you guys pay attention to that, okay? So Noah can be exactly 60 inches or taller, okay? And if you've ever been to, a roller coaster ride, you would know that that, in fact, is how we do that. Okay, so Noah's friend is 2 inches shorter than Noah. Can you tell if Noah's friend is tall enough to go on the ride? So let's think about this. So let's say the first thing. So if X was equal to 60, right? So if Noah is 60 inches tall, then no, his friend would be too short, right? Because how tall would he be? He'd be 58 inches, right? Okay, so he has to be 60 inches tall. So the only way that Noah's friend would be able to ride the ride is if Noah's friend was 60 inches or higher. So that means if Noah is 2 inches shorter, right, we always need to make sure, so X plus 2 needs to be 60. Okay, so if, now I know you're saying, oh, we're doing inequalities. That's okay. Okay, so this has to be, or actually, let's change it to this. Okay, so he has to be greater than or equal to, right? So this means that we'll subtract 2, and we'll get to this. This is just kind of introducing this idea to you, okay? Oh. No. We need this side to be plus 2, okay? So see 58 inches. So he would be too short. Okay, so just showing you guys that. Okay, let me get that out of the way. Okay, so that's option 1. Option 2 would be if Noah is 62 inches or taller, then his friend would be tall enough. Okay, so if you think about it, so if Noah is 62 inches, then his friend, 2 inches shorter, would be 60. So if he was 63 inches, we could still subtract and it would be higher than 60. So as long as Noah is 62 inches or taller. Now, remember, we don't know how tall Noah is, so that's why we're going through this. We're trying to see if we have enough information to tell if Noah is tall enough. Okay. List one possible height for Noah. That means that his friend is tall enough to go on the ride. So we kind of already talked about that. Okay. So Noah must be taller than 62 inches, or exactly, right? For his friend to ride the ride. Okay. If Noah is 60 or 61 inches tall, his friend would be too short. I don't know if you guys can hear my dog right now crying. Oh, horrible. Okay, so on the number line below, we want to show all the possible solutions. Now, here's where the original question that we did before, this is where this comes in handy, okay? So, show all the possible heights that Noah's friend could be. So, we talked about the shortest he could be is 58, right? Because we know that Noah can ride the ride, so he has to be 60 inches tall, right? So, he could be 58 inches, right? Or, depending on how tall Noah is, which we don't know, he could be anywhere from here. He cannot be shorter than 58 inches because we know that the shortest that Noah is 60. Okay, so we know that he could possibly be 58. Now here's where I said, so this means that 58 is included. If it was an open circle, that would mean that it can't be 58, but it can be anything bigger. Okay, so if we were working backwards from how we gave Noah's inequality, so this would be y is greater than or equal to 58, okay? Which would mean that Noah's friend is at least 58 inches tall. Okay? All right. One more little table and then we'll be done for the day. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is a true or false table. So essentially all I'm going to have you guys do is we are going to use substitution. So this is basically like a check. Okay, so when we did a check for solving equations, we just substitute in, right? So all we're going to say, so is 0 less than or equal to 25? Yes, so that means true. I know these boxes are small, so for some of them, if you need to do work on the side of your paper, that's also fine. Okay, now let's ask again. So 100 is greater than or less than or equal to 25. That's going to be false. Negative 100 is less than or equal to 25. And if you guys need to draw a number line, by all means, please do that. Okay, that is going to be false because it's negative. And then is 25 greater than or equal to 25? That is true. So again, all you guys are doing is going through, substituting in, and seeing if it's true or false. So for this one, we have 100 is less than 4 times 0. Well, 4 times 0 is 0, so is 100 less than 0? That's going to be false. Okay, 100, and then 4 times 100. Well, 4 times 100 is 400, so that's also going to be false. 100 is less than 4 times negative 100. Well, a positive times a negative is a negative. Is a positive less than a negative? Oh, wait. Did I do that one wrong? This one's true. Sorry, it's too early today. 100 is less than 400. Mr. President, get it right. Okay, so 100 is not less than negative 400, so that one's going to be false. Okay, and then is 100 less than 4 times 25? Now you might be asking yourself, well, 4 times 25 is 100. So yeah, this is true. But there's no equal sign under this. Okay, so see how those are different? So 100 is not less than 100, so that's also going to be false. So the only one that worked for that one was negative 100. Okay, negative 3 times 0 is greater than negative 75. Well, anything times 0 is 0. 0 is greater than negative 75. That is true. Okay, negative 3 times positive 100 is greater than negative 75. So is negative 300 greater than negative 75? No way, Jose. So that is false. Okay. All right, negative 3 times negative 100 is greater than negative 75. Well, a negative times a negative is positive, so is positive bigger than a negative? Sure is. And then negative 3 times a positive 25, is that going to be greater than negative 75? When you multiply those together, you get negative 75 is greater than negative 75. That is not true because there's no equal sign under that, so that's going to be false. Okay, all right, last row. So it's 10 greater than or equal to 35 minus 10. So this would be 25. I'll actually do this out for you guys. Okay, so is 10 greater than or equal to 25? That is going to be false. Okay, is 10 greater than or equal to 35 minus 100? Well, if I subtract 100, that's going to be a negative, right? So that's going to be true because 10 is going to be bigger than a negative number. Is 10 greater than or equal to 35 minus negative 100? What is a minus next to a negative? That ends up being positive. So it's going to be false. Okay, and then is 10 greater than or equal to 35 minus 25? Since there is an equal sign to that one, we can say that it's true. Okay, so make sure that you guys look through. What I'm going to have you guys do this week is I'm going to give you a solution to the inequality. You're going to tell me if they are true or false. So very similar to this. So please make sure that you double check, go through this. If you have any questions, make sure you ask. Also, make sure, so I did make a mistake the first time around with this one. Make sure you change that one to true. Okay, so I hope that this is starting to make sense. There will be a little bit of graphing, but again, we're not solving yet. Okay, I'm not solving those. We will do that next week. Okay, so again, we went all the way up to page 4, so just 2 to 4, and be on the lookout for a assessment. Bye, guys.